We love featuring artists you should know about. Today we're heading to Minnesota to chat with singer-songwriter Tyler Herwig. Tyler is based out of St. Paul. He's known as a preferred acoustic artist. He's had over 2 decades of passion that all started with a guitar in the trunk of his car. He plays over 260 shows a year, and he's dropping his latest single called All Yours on July 31st, a song that he wrote for his wife. We're excited to have Tyler on the show. First, Tyler, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. It feels like an absolute blessing to be here right now.
Yeah, man. Well, first, America's Next Top Hit Maker. I saw last night you're #1 in your group. Tell us about this.
Yeah, #1 currently on America's Next Top Hit Maker.
I mean, what do people do? Just go check out his social media and you can go vote for him. How long does this last? Do you know?
I know that the voting period lasts, I think, like a couple more weeks, and they do it in 4 different rounds. So I made it through the first 2 rounds here, ranked at #1, and we'll just kind of see what the other rounds hold. I know it's only going to get more and more difficult competition-wise from here.
Oh, yeah. But that's cool, though, when you see yourself #1 in anything.
Yeah, I guess I didn't grow up as a real sporty guy, so I don't have a lot of trophies or medals underneath my belt. So to see a #1 on anything that I'm doing always feels really good.
Yeah. Well, I saw that you took piano lessons from your grandma. So was your family musical?
So my grandma she was a church organist for many, many, many years, and she taught me how to play a little bit of piano, but I never stuck with it. So I can kind of think around a little bit, but I'm by no means like a real pianist. And then when I was 13, I started teaching myself how to play guitar a little bit, and by 16, I learned that girls like musicians, and from there it was all kind of downhill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was kind of like tragedy. Your brother's best friend passed away and got you to pick up the guitar?
Yeah, when he passed, long story short, he came over to our house over New Year's weekend, ended up contracting meningitis, which slipped through a small hole he had around the lining of his brain. He slipped into a coma and then passed pretty tragically within about 3 days. And I took an excerpt from a poem that was in his, at his funeral, and kind of put that to music and wrote my first song when I was 13. And loved it, but never really took it seriously. And then when I was 16, I learned that girls liked musicians more than anything in the world. That was the thing. And I had been in love with this girl my whole life, and heard she liked musicians more than anything else. And so I decided I was going to take it really seriously, learn all of her favorite songs, put on a little concert for her, and then ask her to prom. And so I taught myself how to play guitar, got all of our friends together in the parking lot of a Taco John's, and then I asked her at the very end, "Would you go to prom with me?" And she said no.
Oh, man.
That broke my little 16-year-old heart, and after all of my friends left, I sat in the trunk of my car singing sad songs and eating tacos and crying for 2 hours. And while I was sitting there throwing myself this pity party, this woman got off of work. She was pulling through the drive-thru, heard me singing, and she got out and asked if I would sing in her wedding as she walked down the aisle. And that was really the moment where music clicked for me. And I fell in love with it, realizing then that I could make someone's day a little bit more special or a moment a little bit more memorable by doing something that I love. And I've chased that feeling every day now for 15 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's an incredible story. That's sweet. Well, I mean, you're all over the place. What do you like? Pop, folk, country? What's your favorite genre?
Gosh, I really like the kind of the more James Arthur, Louis Capaldi kind of singer-songwriter stuff. But you're not wrong. I bounce around from genre to genre. I really want my fans to think of me like their own personal radio dial. So whatever you want to hear, I've probably made. I mean, I've released everything from country to hip-hop to pop to singer-songwriter. I'm just kind of all over the place, and that's because I love a lot of kinds of music. So I'm going to make a lot of kinds of music. Yeah,
and you perform a ton of music that we'll talk about here. But you've been in Nashville. Is this, you're working on the country EP? What were you doing in Nashville a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, so back in, it would have been 2 years ago now, I signed a development deal with a label based out of Nashville to start putting out in country music. We released a song back in September of last year that charted to, I think, 8 in the U.S., something like that, on indie country radio, and 4 over in the U.K. And so I signed another deal with them to make a 3-song country EP that I was down there doing some writing and production for. I'm really excited for that project.
Okay. Was it Living in the Last Days?
Yeah, Living in the Last Days. That was my first country song.
Yeah, we played it last hour.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Gave you a little bit of love. But yeah, I was like, wow, this is kind of country. So he had a little bit of country before All Yours and the new stuff. So, but you got to go check out Tyler. He's at TylerHerwigMusic.com. He's on Facebook, Instagram. His latest single, All Yours, comes out on July 31st. But you've got all kinds of videos on there. One, who's shooting these videos?
My wife.
Okay.
My wife is my number one teammate, which is why I wrote this song. And actually, as of last month, she quit her full-time job to come and work with me and support my music even more. So we are now all in, and it's all thanks to the love of the fans that we're blessed and able to do all this for you.
Well, that's cool, because she was working and let you quit everything to just focus on music.
Yeah, that was kind of the whole reason I decided to do music full-time, was because, like, the day after we got married, she told me to go quit my job and pursue my dream. And then 2 weeks later, we found out we were pregnant. And it was kind of in that moment that I was like, failure's not an option. And I had to find a way to make this work. And over the last 3 years now, I've turned a really well-paid hobby and passion into a full-time career. And it's all thanks to her having faith and trust in me.
Yeah, well, and you hit it hard. When you go to his social media, I love your Taylor Swift jokes that you've been saying on there, Tyler.
Thank you.
And it's
nothing against Swifties.
No, nothing against Swifties. I mean, I think you even like Taylor Swift, though.
I do, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's just funny. He's like, if 1% of Taylor Swift fans would like my stuff, I could buy a house.
And that's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. Just 1%, that's all I need.
Yeah, just 1% of her fans, can help me out. So Swifties out there, go check him out, TylerHerwigMusic.com. Go and like his stuff. You can go to Spotify and listen to his stuff. Well, where did you meet your wife?
That's a great story. I'll give you the short version of that one, too. We actually met at one of my shows.
Okay.
My wife was recently divorced, went to a winery that I was playing at with some friends, just trying to have a good time. And she left her phone number in my tip jar. And that never happened, so I got really excited. And if I'm being honest, the first thing I did when I got done for the night is I called my mom. And I said, Mom, a pretty girl likes me. Should I call her? My mom said no. So obviously I immediately called this girl and I asked her out. We go on our first date and she tells me that she lives in France. Oh, and I said, I've always wanted to go backpacking through Europe. Would you just want to keep talking? And then, if I ever make my way overseas, we'd be able, I'd have a couch to crash on and a friend to show me around. She said yes to that. And over the course of the next 6 months, we went from being complete strangers to best friends to in a long distance relationship to then me begging her to move back. And she told me if she got a job speaking French every day, she would move back to the United States. So I forged a job resume in her name and started applying to jobs for her. And I found her a job based out of Minneapolis, helping high school students do semesters abroad and study in France. She got that job 2 weeks after I applied, and the rest is history.
Wow, incredible. So she's French?
She's not. She's actually from Wisconsin. But wow. She has her degree in French linguistics. So she's completely fluent and had lived over there for short stints on a work visa multiple times over the last 2 years, and just always wanted to stay there. And so when she got divorced from her ex-husband, she was like, I'm moving to France. And she packed up everything, moved there, and little did she know that would be a much shorter trip than she had originally planned.
Yeah, wow. Well, and the French like her because she actually speaks French. So
yes, and I do not. I really tried to learn, and I just can't do it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, she's a huge inspiration for you. You mentioned you have one daughter, but congratulations. You guys have another baby on the way.
Yes, we have another one due in January. We just found out what the gender is, and we'll be doing the official gender reveal on our social media like later this week. So if you guys want to know what we're having, go check that out.
Yeah, because what's this exclusive community that you can join, Tyler?
Yeah, so I do something, it's very similar to a Patreon. I call it my inner circle. And essentially that's where I put all of my behind-the-scenes content. I do kind of an exclusive blog. I put all of my, like, songs that I've newly written before I even take them to my producers or to the studio. I kind of record a little, like, scratch track, a voice memo kind of thing on my phone and allow people to literally vote on which songs I make next just by joining that exclusive community. And if you guys are interested in that, you can always send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram and I can get you hooked up.
Yeah, and if you can go check out his website, TylerHerwigMusic.com. And I think, where's that at on there? Maybe it's under music. I saw it last
Probably.
night. Yeah, you can go and sign up right there and check everything else out with him on his website or go to his social media and find it there as well. But, yeah, I mean, it's you have a little tease on one of your videos with a lightsaber. And, yeah, it says you got to sign up for the community or it's coming here to see what the gender of baby number 2 is. Well, and you keep variety in your work through collaborations. Your last single, Home Tonight, who's the lady you did this with?
So that is actually my producer's cousin. We looked for a female vocalist that fit the vibe of this song for literally six months and couldn't find someone that I was like, that's the voice that we need. And then he suggested his cousin, her name is Lila, and this is her very first song that she's ever sung on professionally. She has no other work out there. It's just this one, and my gosh, she killed it. She's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Where's your producer you're working with? Is he in Minnesota?
Yeah, so I have a couple different producers that I work with, one in Nashville and 2 here in Minnesota.
Okay. Well, when you were in Nashville, it's pretty funny. You were there for a few days and you were trying to write songs, and just like everybody, you go through some writer's block. Did you get some songs written while you were there?
Yeah, we wrote 6 songs.
Oh, wow.
In 4 days. So we got a lot done. And now we're just kind of waiting, honestly, on that inner circle community to vote on which ones we're going to cut and put on the radio next.
Nice. So, yeah, so if you go join his inner circle, you can hear him before anyone and pick out which ones you like. And if you go to his website, your touring is insane, Tyler. I cannot believe you play like every day. You play twice some days.
Yeah. It's pretty much Tuesday through Sunday, twice on Saturday, 52 weeks a year. That's my schedule.
How did you get all these gigs?
A lot of it was, like I said, when I found out my wife was pregnant, I call it my gift of desperation, where like I had to find a way to make this my full-time job. So I literally sat down for like 5 days just sending emails to every single place I could possibly think of. And then, I was emailing like Target and Walmart asking if I could play in the parking lot for free, just so that way I could get some traction and exposure. And luckily, since I've been performing for 15 years, I've fostered a lot of relationships that make filling up my Thursday through Sundays pretty easy. Finding those Tuesday, Wednesday, or even a Monday gig is really challenging, and I've been very blessed and very lucky to foster relationships with some amazing venue owners around the Midwest that are willing to put on special events on a Monday night just so that way I can play.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a good thing your wife just quit her job, because I was like, do you ever see the family? Do you go home after the gig, or you stay on the road? What happens?
Yeah, I commute to and from home every single day. So I drive about 60 to 70,000 miles a year. And yeah, I'm always home. My family comes with me to a lot of my performances, unless they are like late at night and interfere with bedtime. I'm probably the only guy you're going to meet that brings a 2.5-year-old to a bar, though. So,
hey, she likes dancing next to Daddy performing. So,
all the time.
You can go watch a cute video of her doing that at one of his gigs. Because I was just floored when I looked at your schedule. I was like, holy crap. That is just crazy. I don't think I've ever seen anybody have more gigs than you. So, way to go.
Well, thank you. I definitely don't know if anyone has more gigs than me, and I don't know if I would recommend you try. It would probably damage your voice. The only reason I think I'm able to do it is because I've added a couple gigs slowly over time every year, and I just keep pushing myself. But if I were to be starting from ground zero, there's not a chance in the world that I'd be able to do what I'm doing right now. It's just kind of slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. Well, and you're doing corporate events, weddings. How many songs are in your arsenal?
Cover songs, I think I have about 220, something like that. Everything from Frank Sinatra to Lynyrd Skynyrd to Old Dominion to Justin Bieber. It's kind of all fair game.
Yeah, I was going to say, this guy's got to know a bunch of songs, playing all these gigs and working with the crowd. I mean, you probably can read a crowd like nobody.
I definitely think so. I always tell myself there's not a crowd that I can't entertain. So,
yeah, wow.
All experience, man.
Exactly. A lot of experience. Go and check him out, TylerHerwigMusic.com. He's on Facebook, Instagram. His latest single, All Yours, comes out on July 31st. Well, I saw you were with International Singer-Songwriters Association, but were you nominated for anything this year?
I was not. I'm hoping next year I get nominated for something.
Did you just get in it this year?
Nominated. No, I think I joined last year.
Okay.
But I think I just missed the nominations. But I was nominated through the Midwest Country Music Organization for Artist of the Year, and I was one of the nominees. I didn't win that one either. But, you know, just great to see support. Even being nominated is a huge honor.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you're perfect. I'm in ISA. I have an internet radio station and one a couple years ago, but yeah, you're perfect for those guys. And they give a lot of support. They're a really great organization. ISSAsongwriters.com if you want to go check them out. Well, this brand new single, All Yours, you've been promoting the heck out of this thing.
Yeah, this is the one that I really want to blow up on socials and like become a trending audio on TikTok. It just feels like the perfect love song for the people that have that special someone in their life. And that's really where it came from when I wrote it, was just a place of gratitude and thanksgiving for having my wife. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to live my dream if I didn't have her support. And I've never found the words to say thank you to her that feel like they're enough until I wrote this song. And I'm like, I think this is it. I want you to know this is how I feel every day when I wake up, because you give me more than I could ever ask for.
Yeah. Well, man, I mean, you've got a stranglehold on Minnesota and the Midwest there. Are we going to stay in Minnesota?
The goal here is if I can get to 50,000 followers on all of my social media accounts by the end of this year, I will do a national tour next year. So that was the deal I made with my wife. And so we're just pushing the heck out of stuff, hoping people resonate with the music, and then we'll start running around the world.
Yeah, wow. Well, and All Yours, is this going to be one of the 3 songs on the country EP?
It will not be. Those will be 3 all-new original songs.
Okay. So is that coming next or more singles?
You know, it'll kind of depend, because I work with different producers. Things don't always line up in reality the way I want them to in my head. So I think we'll be able to cut a few more singles before the country EP is released. I know I've got at least 7 other songs on the docket, so we'll just kind of see where it all takes me. And if the traction keeps building, you know, there can be rush orders placed on some things too, depending on what the fan community is asking for next.
Yeah, wow. Well, if you're in Minnesota, Wisconsin, even around Nashville, he plays some gigs. Go and check him out. Tyler Herwig. He's at TylerHerwigMusic.com. Go and follow him. He's on Facebook, Instagram. You can go to YouTube, Spotify. His latest single, All Yours, comes out on July 31st. Well, let's hear it. Tyler, thanks so much for coming on.
Awesome. Let me know what you guys think.
It's all yours. It's brand new music. It's KIX 96.5.